Do you give the Commanders a shot to upset the Dolphins on Sunday? I'm not saying you're going to win. They're going to win. Do you just give them a shot?
Well, what's that mean? It's kind of.
I guess it depends on what you think. Like, do you think they can pull off an upset?
All right, so the poll question is basically, do you think they will win?
No, he thinks. Do you think they can?
Like, Cakes doesn't give them a shot.
Less than 1%
Cakes
chance.
does not give them a shot.
Yeah.
All right, let me guess what the percentage is. You already threw it out there.
I mean, it's been up for less than 1 minute.
So
okay,
there's a question. Read what you asked the listeners again.
Do you give the Commanders a shot to upset the Miami Dolphins on Sunday?
It's going to take a miracle. Here's a scenario how you.
So
can
not,
do it.
you give them not much of a shot, but you give them a little bit of a shot.
Not really.
I feel you're kind of in Cakes' camp.
Remember how
Cakes is saying the math is he's saying if they played 200 times, the Commanders would beat them once.
Yes.
I think that's pretty accurate.
I mean, I think that's a little little offensive.
I think any team has a shot in the NFL.
He said a 0.5% chance.
So where do you see an advantage for the Commanders?
It's not that they have an advantage.
Home
Cakes.
field, Cakes.
There's no advantage. They don't have an advantage. On paper, the Dolphins win every time, but that's not how life plays out. So, like, they could get a couple lucky interceptions. There could be tip ball interceptions. Of course. There could be fumbles.
Could be a letdown.
We could have a couple long drives where they actually score a few touchdowns.
It can be an injury.
Sure.
Tua could get knocked out of the game.
Tua out of the game.
Right.
So, I mean, things could happen. I find it unlikely. I think...
Based on the percentages,
that's fair.
Very low.
Everyone mocked me when I said it was a moral victory when they lost in overtime to the Eagles. Literally everyone mocked me. I was serious. That was a moral victory. Now, it led to nothing because they still were terrible.
Right.
This game, if it was earlier in the season, I would say this is prime moral victory. Yeah. We're way beyond. There's no more moral victories. No. Okay, so that's not a thing. But if they were able to compete and like maybe take this into overtime or it'd be a final possession game, I would be stunned.
I just don't see any matchup where they win.
This would be as shocking to me as when Dallas went to Arizona and lost.
Or when the Ravens lost to the Colts. That was kind of a shocking loss.
At the time, yeah, but
they lost.
But clearly, Indy's better than we thought they were going to be.
Hey, the ESPN predictor gives them 19.5%
I think that's
chance.
way too high.
Let's open up to callers. 800-636-1067.
Cakes thinks if they played them 200 times, they'd win once.
I actually think
0.5%
probably
chance.
wouldn't even win once.
In 200? Come on, Cakes.
It's an NFL.
Look, where
they're upsets all the time.
They don't, but it just but
where? Point it out, because
they don't.
The Dolphins, if somehow they don't get there through the air,
you can't
then they just turn around and give it to Mostert and Wilson's number 2 rushing attack in the league.
But if that was true, you would put $1,000 on the Dolphins.
Put way more than that. If I knew it. No, I'm not gonna.
Why? You put a big nut on it.
I'm not gonna do that.
Why?
You don't feel that confident.
Yeah,
the Eagles lost to the Jets this year.
Return is
Eagles
paltry.
lost to the Jets. Yes,
it's too much risk.
Yeah, but the risk is nowhere near what you think the odds are.
But it's not enough reward.
I understand, but you think if you think it's an absolute lock, $1,000 to win a couple hundred.
You think Vegas is way wrong. You think Vegas is way wrong.
I think they are way wrong.
Yeah.
I don't see a scenario where this game's even really that close.
I think you're probably right. But I would love to see you bet on it.
I'm sure you would love to see me lose my bet on it. Is what you would love to see.
I would get a kick out of it.
I'm sure you would.
But
that's why I'm just gonna.
You got money to burn.
I'm just gonna look from afar.
All right.
I mean, the Cowboys lost to Josh Dobbs earlier this season when nobody was talking about Josh Dobbs.
Right. That was a shocking loss. In fact, Dallas was I think they were a bigger favorite than Miami is in Washington.
I wouldn't doubt that. It's the NFL. Look, the Commanders lost a few weeks ago to the Giants, and you thought the Giants had a 0% chance to win the game.
Well,
why?
Because
are
way better than the Commanders.
I understand that, but why? Because the Commanders committed 6 turnovers. I'm not saying that the Dolphins are going to come here and commit 6 turnovers. I would give it about a 10% chance for the Commanders to win the game, maybe 15% because it's the NFL. But I'd give them a shot. It's an unlikely shot. If you want to chime in, 800-636-1067. Last week against the Cowboys, or on Thanksgiving, they did move the ball. Like, they didn't score, but in the first 3 quarters, even though they had 10 points, it seemed like Sam Howell was moving the ball. And then they just would get to, like, the 45-yard line or something and stall out.
I don't have doubts that Sam Howell's going to move the ball.
Well, that could happen again.
But, right. And we just talked to
what if they just get lucky?
We just talked to Steve Trout about that Dolphins look, they lost, and I know EB kind of poo-pooed it yesterday. He talked to Vinny or Joe. I can't remember which one's the Dolphins guy.
Joe, come on, Joe. Joe P.
The guy they lost had 8.5, 9 sacks last year.
He had 6.5 this year.
Yeah, he's not playing. So there are things that are maybe lining up towards Washington to have success on offense. Do you think they can have success on offense?
Sure, but I think they'll have success, but I know the Dolphins will have more success against a defense that's toothless. It can't stop anybody.
See, here's the thing with the Dolphins.
What if we pressure Tua into a bad throw and we
Well, I'm
fix it?
sure-
I mean, I just don't
It
see
could
that
happen.
happening.
He just had 2 interceptions.
Of course. He had
I
2
think
against the
Tua-
Jets,
I
but
think-
they won the game
I think Tua
34-13.
is going to operate in a pretty clean pocket for
Hey,
most, if not all,
Here's
of the
the
game.
thing about playing defense against Miami. You can't really key on anything because they're
Right.
so balanced.
Plus, they major
No, I know.
in
It's going to take some luck.
Right. You
Tyreek
can't key on anything.
averages 15 yards per catch. Waddle averages 13 yards per catch. A shade above that.
Those are big numbers.
And what do the Commanders specialize in?
Giving up.
big explosive plays.
Right.
And
Especially
I know people will say, well,
outside the
Ron's
20.
calling the plays now. It's going to be different. You can't fix a bad, leaky secondary like that in 6 days.
All right, I don't really remember this game. I watched it. Nothing really stands out to me. They had a close game against the Raiders just a couple weeks ago. Are the Raiders a good team?
No.
No, I'd say they're better than the Commanders, but barely.
Yeah, the Raiders are not good. They're not a playoff.
I'm trying to see where their
team.
defense is ranked. They only put up 20 against that Raiders team. Now the Raiders have Max Crosby, and right now the Commanders have,
Commanders have
nobody.
nobody like that on their
Nobody
roster.
like it. But I don't think they have particularly great defense.
Yeah, I didn't see that game.
Like an hour ago, you thought the Dolphins are going to score 40 in this
I
game?
do, but I'm trying to build up how they have a shot.
The way they
All
have
right,
a
in
shot.
that game, here's why that was close. In that game, Tua threw a pick and fumbled, and Julian Hill fumbled. So they had 3 turnovers,
Right.
and the Raiders had zippy.
Why can't
No, I'm sorry, the Raiders
why
had 3
can't
picks.
let's say the Commanders lose the coin toss because everybody defers, and they go down. They have a long sustained. It doesn't happen often, but they have an 8-minute drive, 7-8 minute drive, score touchdown, and then somehow by a miracle they force a punt. Maybe Tyreek Hill drops a ball. Maybe, you know what I mean? And then we go down and we actually score again, and now we got a little momentum.
Right, like you said, they just have to get lucky.
I mean, sometimes that
You got to
stuff
convert.
happens.
Against the Cowboys, you put up a bunch of
I
yardage,
think
only
it's gonna
scored
take a
10
miracle,
points.
but I mean,
You got to win the turnover battle. But all I'm saying is, look, I do think the Dolphins will score 40. But why I think that the Commanders have a shot, why I wouldn't be shocked, is it's the NFL. And in that Raiders game just a couple weeks ago, the Dolphins only put up 20. Do I think they're going to do better? The Raiders defense, by the way, ranked about 22nd. I'd have to check.
But
it was
that's why you have, if you think they have a shot, you have to create turnovers. That's the only way you win.
And you have to make
If the
Tua's
Dolphins
life-
aren't going to turn the ball over, they're just going to go up and down the field.
You have to make Tua uncomfortable in the pocket. And over the last few games, has this pass rush done anything to impress you?
well, they
Since
had 9
Montez and-
sacks against Tommy DeVito. Now, Tommy DeVito's a clown.
I mean,
But they
that
had
guy
9 sacks.
That guy walked straight into probably 6 or 7 of those sacks himself.
they also lost that game.
Tua's only been sacked
But that's a
17
separate
times
issue.
this year.
Yeah.
Huh?
Tua's only been sacked 17
No,
times.
I know. He doesn't get sacked much.
He does.
I know that on
But he's a little
paper,
guy.
He is.
aren't they ranked number 1 and number 2 in like all the offensive categories,
Yes.
the Dolphins?
Yes.
But if you actually look at the last month, all right, they did put up 31 against New England. Then they only put up 14 against KC. They only put up
KC
20.
has a legit defense.
Okay, but 14 against KC, 20 against Vegas, and then they had a bounce back against the Jets with 34 this past week. So it's not like every week they're putting up these monster numbers.
Yeah, they're not going to come out and score 35 every single week, but they have that in their range of outcomes.
And they're facing
against-
the Commanders'
against
defense.
this secondary.
Yes.
I expect more than 1 or 2 explosive plays to go against them.
I tend to agree with you. All right, let's go to the phones. 800-636-1067. Do you give the Commanders a shot? By the way, the poll of the day brought to you by Van Meter
All right,
Homes.
I'm going to say, can I guess?
Sure. 200 votes so far.
All right,
Couple
88%
minutes.
say no. So 12,
86%. You're close.
12%. All right, so
14% are giving the Commanders a shot. Doesn't mean they're going to win. Just a shot.
all right.
All right, let's go to the phones. 800-636-1067 if you want to chime in. Trying to find a scenario here. Trying to get worked up. Let's go to Josh in Upper Marlboro. Hey, Josh.
Hey, fellas. Yeah, unfortunately, I give him a shot. I say unfortunately because I want him to lose all the way out so we can get Marvin Harrison Jr. But there was a beat writer from Miami on JP and B Mitch yesterday, and he was saying they're actually pretty terrible on third down conversions. They're apparently near the bottom of the league in some of the advanced stats there. And so if we can get them into, second or third and long, apparently that's a soft spot for them. They're really good at, like, the big plays, but, like, converting those, like, those third downs are not a strength. And then apparently they're missing one of their major pass rushers as well. So
yes,
between the two of those things, maybe we have a shot.
That's the other thing. Do Commanders fans really want them to win? Because they have no shot at the playoffs.
No.
I mean,
but Josh said, he wants to lose out, so he, the tankathon theory.
I mean,
I like winning.
Okay.
I mean, he's
not
really,
everyone feels that way. I get it, but
he's nitpicking on Miami because they're top 12 in third down conversion percentage.
yeah, okay.
I mean, they're top half of the league, like top third, basically.
I heard the interview with the guy on JP Finley and talking to JP Finley and B Mitch. He sounded pretty uber confident, to be honest with
Well,
you.
he probably should be.
And look, this is a huge game for the Dolphins. It is leading the division, but they're in that mix for best record overall in the AFC. They don't want to lose this game. Mm-hmm. They're not sleepwalking over Washington. They're not.
Well, and also,
they're going to take this game serious.
I don't know. We'll see what kind of motivation the guys play with, but they're playing for their professional lives.
And it's a Mike McDaniel revenge game. Never forget that. He's facing his former team in the Washington Commanders.
Well, does he have animosity? I don't think he has animosity.
I don't think so.
That was he was here like a decade ago.
By the way, what is McDaniel's? Again, 800-636-1067. It sounds like one person believes they have a shot.
Right.
One person called it.
Right.
800-636-1067. If you think they have a shot, give us a little scenario how it might play out. What is McDaniel's football background? Because he doesn't look like a football player.
He was an intern for the Broncos years ago.
So, like high school and college, like was it like a high school DB or something?
He was a ball boy as a kid.
I don't know if he
The
played
ball
in
boy
high
as a
school.
kid.
He didn't play in college.
Didn't play anywhere in college.
He went to Yale. He's a smart ass.
So he's a smart guy. Went to Yale,
Right.
and then loved football.
He
So he
just wanted to
pursued
get football.
that.
I told you, he sent out letters to like every coach.
Right, I understand. And Ron,
including Ron Rivera.
responded, but didn't hire him.
Just somebody who wanted to break into football and got a shot.
Yeah.
Right.
Almost impossible what he's achieved to be a ball boy.
Right.
Didn't play anywhere, and now you're a head coach in the NFL.
And he's,
Oh, yeah,
he's
yeah,
basically
yeah.
a star. He's a rising star in the ranks.
He's just smart.
And he's only 40. He's very young.
Yep.
Right. Valdez, give me a scenario where the Commanders win.
Yeah,
All right.
King of the Zig
Did it-
or Zag, whichever one it is.
I don't know. I
I think we've settled in on
You're
Zag
the
because
king of
Zig
the
is
Zag.
first.
no,
Zag
I'm
is
not.
second.
I don't zig or zag. I'm a prophet. I
You're a
receive-
independent thinker.
Best
I am.
winning percentage.
It is
of
true.
The Junkies.
It's just
Did anybody pick Washington last week against Dallas?
impossible.
Okay.
I would guess.
Maybe the extra days off to prepare and rest are helpful. Coming off the Dallas game, maybe that plays into something. And I
Remember,
feel like
Miami has an extra day off too because they played Friday.
that is true. There has to be some sort of shot in the arm in the defense, right? With Ron taking over and getting that Mickey Mouse
Ooh, I
coach
don't
out of
know.
there.
You're asking for a lot.
It can't be any worse. There has to be some sort of shot in the arm. They have to be doing something different compared to what it was before. So, I mean, that's kind of how you see it. Is this maybe they're preparing differently this week?
Yeah, but what about like gameplay?
Gameplay?
How would it?
It's kind of keep everything in front of you, and hopefully Miami shoots themselves in the foot. You know, maybe special teams return, big day for Jameson Crowder. Give yourself some good field position.
I like that. How about a punt
You're
return?
winning. You win the field position battle.
Now, problem is you got to force a punt to get a punt return.
That's a very good point.
I feel like I'm back in those days where I would just beg for stops.
like how
I
many,
can remember doing shows and going, if we get
Three punts.
3 stops,
Yeah, you wanted 3 punts.
if we could get 3 punts, we have a chance.
But this is, I mean, if you treat a team like a stock, this is the time to buy. They're at the absolute lowest.
penny
Is that the
stock,
nadir?
penny stock.
Yeah, let's go to Al in Hyattsville. Al, what's up, buddy? You're on with the Junks.
Hey, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's up,
man?
Al?
Good.
What's up?
Hey, yo, they got no shot as an iceberg in hell.
All right.
Why?
It's not happening. And here's why. Because I look at it from the standpoint of business, okay? If there's an idiot at the top running the show and he hires idiots, you're going to have an idiot outcome. You got rid of some idiots below you, but there's still an idiot at the top running the show. So logic to me dictates that we ain't no better than we was before the whole thing started.
Probably shouldn't be.
How you going to expect when the man who's stopping miracles is still in charge?
Right.
It just doesn't play out. And I'm like the first caller that came on. I need them to lose out because I want Marvin Harrison.
The tankers are out.
Right. That's what they want.
Well, you don't want to lose out on a guy by one pick, as Doc Walker said earlier this week. He's bought into tanking now because
that's what happened.
They ended up with Chase Young.
Yeah, but they could have drafted Tua.
They
could have drafted Joe Burrow at number
and
1.
they could have drafted Herbert.
Correct.
So, I mean, okay, Burrow is great, but Herbert's pretty darn good, and so is Tua.
There were a couple people out of the 6 of us who said they should have gone that way.
Right.
And not drafted Chase Young.
Revisionist history. I mean,
I think I was probably stumping for Chase Young.
Young was a dominant college player. It was a big whiff.
No, I just said at the time, if any of those guys taken after him hit like Tua, then it's going to be a miss, regardless of what Chase
Drabby
does.
and I said you draft the quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, defensive ends don't lead to championships. They can help you win a championship, but you don't draft, Myles Garrett and all of a sudden become a championship contender.
If Tua's hip was healthy, there wasn't the hip concern, that they would have drafted him.
Don't know.
The problem was, didn't Tua
that was a concern,
his last year his play dropped off a little bit. Maybe it was also because of the hip too.
Yeah. He had the hip injury. Yeah. Some people thought it was like career ender.
He got pummeled in I think it was Mississippi State game.
They probably couldn't have drafted him because that little dictator owner, Dan Snyder, had his personal pick in Dwayne Haskins.
They liked Haskins.
They had Haskins still on board.
One person liked Haskins.
They weren't ballsy enough to pick back-to-back.
All right, let's go to the phones. See what people think. Wondering if you think they've got a shot.
I mean, they definitely have
Everything
a shot,
lines
but
up.
it's a small shot.
Yeah, I mean, a couple people were tweeting us, and it's kind of all the same scenario. Here's one from Jason. Only way Commanders get the W is generate turnovers. Has to be, and it says stop running shotgun on 3rd and 4th down.
Yeah.
Maybe here's how the Commanders do it. Tua is a different quarterback at home than he is on the road. In his 6 road games, he has 8 touchdowns, 6 picks. In his 5 home games, 14 touchdowns, 4 picks.
Is that giving you pause or no?
No, not really. I still think
you're just reading.
He hasn't faced a secondary as bad as the Commanders' secondary that he's going to face on Sunday. So I think
maybe he doesn't put up the numbers Sunday that he would, like he did against some of those other teams like the Panthers. But
so maybe it takes 40 off the board.
Yeah, maybe they win 31-20.
And he has fumbled
not 40-20.
3 of his past 4 or 4 straight. It's one of those 3. He's fumbled a lot of late.
Yes.
All right. I like this response on Twitter. It says, I do believe the Commanders have a shot. Every time Cake speaks in hyperbole and absolutely the opposite happens.
Trust me, I have some scar tissue from the Giants bit.
What's the food choice that we can dump over his head if the Dolphins lose?
No, we're not.
What's popular in Miami?
Trust me,
tuna.
I've learned my lesson.
Can we get some tuna?
Get some tuna?
No, I've learned my lesson from
we'll have a stone crab pinch your nose.
Yeah, there you go.
Some Hawaiian too.
Learned my lesson.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to
hot lava from a volcano.
Let's go to Curtis in D.C. Curtis, what's up, buddy? Y'all with the Junkies.
What's up, Junks? Happy Football Friday.
Same to you, sir.
All right, I'm not a Commanders fan, so I'm unbiased here. I'm going to give you the way they can do it, and it can be done. Miami's Cake's a genius. He's speaking what I'm speaking. Miami's different on the road than at home. They run a lot of motions, first and foremost. You can't run those motions with crowd noise because those guys don't know where to be. So get loud. As loud as you can get loud. Number 2, Tua is a system quarterback. He runs a system. If his first read's not there, he's trash. Sam Howell is a better processor than Tua. Sam Howell is a better NFL quarterback than Tua. Tua is a better system quarterback.
All right.
How much have you watched Tua?
You know what? The system of him throwing to Waddle and Hill is pretty good.
Fan, bro. I just watched it happen. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you how it's going to happen. Listen, Tua is like one of those guys that his first read's not there. He can't process. He can't read defenses. You seen that?
I don't think that's true at all.
Have you seen him read defenses? Ever.
I've watched
sure he
games
can.
with Tua, and I've seen him throw to secondary receivers.
Tua gets the ball in his hands within 2.5 seconds, and if not, he's a totally different quarterback.
All right. So Jalen Waddle has no catches on the year.
No, I'm not saying he doesn't have.
He only has
I'm not
catches when he's
saying-
the first read.
Oh, just the first read, right? Okay.
Thanks, pal.
All right, man.
Thank you for the call.
Appreciate you listening.
Waddle's only averaging 13.3 yards per catch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's all.
only when he's the
Curtis
primary
had
target.
zero credibility. Sam Howell's not better than Tua. I'm
All
sorry.
right, let's go to Jim and Glen Burnie. You got another optimistic guy calling in here. Hey,
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, no, this is a lock, fellas. I
All right.
watch you guys every morning. This is a lock.
Okay.
The reason the Redskins / Commanders are going to win is because there is no way that it's a clean cut to get rid of Ron at the end of the year. He's going to run out against all these good teams at the end of the year. They look at him and go, now what do we do? It's been like this forever. It's always going to be like that.
Hey, if they get a win, there's a legit playoff sweat. If they were to get to 5 wins, just look at the NFC. We talked about it earlier.
You're right. You're right. 5-8.
By the
still,
way-
But
still
give me the
alive.
scenario, though. Give me the scenario. How do they do it?
I don't think
He
they do
doesn't
it. I'm
think
just-
it.
No.
Yeah, no, Ron is just going to do something to screw us fans out of being happy.
Okay.
All right.
I got you. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's go to Anthony in Woodbridge. Anthony, what's up, man?
Junkies.
Hello, Anthony.
So here's my thoughts on the game, is that we should be having a different conversation. Capitals had a great game last night. They have zero chance of winning this game. Mathematically, Ron Rivera would have a better chance of shoving a wet spaghetti noodle up a Bobcat's ass than beating Josh McDaniel and this Miami Dolphins offense. They're a juggernaut. They will destroy us.
You didn't laugh at that.
I didn't even laugh.
It's hard to laugh when you don't understand it.
Yeah.
All right. Anthony doesn't think there's a chance.
I don't know if
Very
you can
intricate.
say that, Anthony.
Yeah.
Probably cannot say
I think
that.
we got dumped on that one.
All right, let's go to Matt
Potty
in
mouth.
Stafford. Matt, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Washington Commanders 33-31. Going to be a shootout. And I think Sam Howell has the ability to outduel Tua. I think Logan Thomas has a big game. He chews up some. He gets really involved, and I like them in a win here. I like the Commanders better against the Dolphins defense, and that's my prediction. Hit the music, please. Appreciate you guys.
Oh, nice.
I like that
Look at that.
swagger.
He does have swagger.
He just bossed you around,
Yeah,
kid.
he just
Yeah, hit the
requested
music,
the music.
please.
Hey, I have a question, Cake. Since you give them no shot.
Yeah.
Look,
Very little. Less than 1%.
I'll give you my pick right now.
Yeah.
42-20.
You don't give him a shot either.
I don't give them much of a shot.
Right.
But what is more likely, Cakes?
Okay.
The Commanders beat the Dolphins on Sunday, or based on what you said on Monday about your experience with the owl, EB takes Dina to go see an owl.
Oh, much more
No, that's
likely.
0%.
Much more likely the Commanders pull the upset.
Yeah.
It's physically impossible for Bickle to
Last
do
time I
that.
checked,
Well, you guys wouldn't do it
last time I
either.
checked,
You're right.
0.5% is a higher percentage than 0%.
Yeah.
It is not by a lot, but it is technically higher.
Right. My wife
Yes,
wanted-
it is.
She wanted to go to a concert this weekend. We're
Where?
going to a high school basketball game instead.
Who's going? Is she going?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which
Well,
concert?
that'll be-
Yeah, who'd you want to see?
She's
don't
just in
even
general.
listen.
Just in general. She's been throwing out all these concerts, and
But who was in town this weekend? You
I
don't
don't
know?
even know. And
In one ear, out the
Fill in the
other.
blank. It
it
doesn't,
doesn't matter. The point is, we're going to a
To a
high school. hoops
Good
game.
Counsel and
St. Andrews playing at Good Counsel.
St. Andrews Good Counsel.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm great friends with the St. Andrews coach,
Ah.
and I know people over Good Counsel. So yeah,
So that's tonight?
that's tonight. That's gonna be the highlight of my
Are
night.
you sitting on the wood?
I like to sit on the wood. Like a lot of people like to go into the stands. I like to be on the wood.
Sit on
Even
the
in high school
wood?
gyms. Sorry.
He's VIP.
I just like it.
Sure.
By the way, what, are the Wiz in town this weekend?
No.
Are you trying to get those Hennessy Law?
Yeah, maybe
Well,
maybe go see the Wiz. Maybe
They're
do a
playing
hoops weekend.
they're playing Orlando. In Orlando, right?
I'll
Is
double
that-
check
Isn't
it.
that tonight?
They play tonight because it's in the parlay. They're at the Magic tonight.
All
Yeah.
right, so I don't know if they're at home.
So if you want to go to the Amway Center
Saturday or
I've been
in
there.
Orlando,
Well,
you
is,
can.
is that a new joint, or have they been playing there for a long time?
I think they've been there for a while.
I went to see the Magic play in Orlando a long time ago. I had terrible seats, butt far away, Did not enjoy.
50 people in the arena.
They opened that arena like 5 years ago. It's supposed to be one of the best ones.
Okay, so I went to the one.
You went
prior.
to the old number.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm in at 42-20. Commanders lose. Valdez is the leader by percentage at 7-4. EB and I and Drab are all 7-5. Cakes and Bish just toss a coin. They're 6-6.
Oh, better.
Commanders games.
Why? I
I'm
had
barely
them against.
above
I
500.
had Dallas.
You sure that record's
I know.
right?
I don't think.
Yes.
Yeah, you've done your math correctly over there.
I don't think that's
7-4?
right.
Oh, you know what?
I don't
You're
think that's right.
actually right. I went the wrong way.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, why is he in charge of the math? He's barely better than me in math.
I slept like 4 hours last night.
Yeah.
Hold on. You're right.
It doesn't
Anyway,
matter.
Valdez has the
I
best
think I'm
winning
better than
percentage.
6-6.
No, you're right. You're right.
I just want
Everybody
to have a
increased
better.
by
I
one.
want to have a better record than Eric, so I can claim that I
Yes.
know his team better than he does.
You do. What do you have?
What are you, one game
what do you
ahead of
think
me?
I'm
happens?
one game ahead of you. I think this
or
is.
half a game ahead of me.
I think this is tighter than what people think. I think it's a lower scoring game. I'm going to say 26-19 Dolphins.
That's not a cover.
No,
If you
not a
took the
cover.
Dolphins.
Correct.
I actually think we're gonna be in here on Monday and we're gonna talk about maybe keeping Ron around as DC.
No,
No chance.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
King of his
He
eyes.
doesn't even want to do that.
What?
I'm just saying.
don't
I'm just
wanna do
saying. I think the defense steps up.
You do.
I do. I think.
How do you
I-
think Sammy's going to play? You think he's going to bounce back a little bit?
to be honest, I think it's gonna be.
How are their DBs? Are they good?
I mean,
Well, they got
Jalen
Ramsey.
Ramsey.
He's one of the best in the
Yeah.
league.
How many's he got?
3.
3.
That's
I
not
think
that
it's. I think it's an incomplete because I think it's kind
Missed
of.
half the season.
I think it's kind of a ball control, dink and dunk type game plan that EB2 is going to run.
I think that's what they needed.
So to correct the records, EB, Drab, myself, we're all 8-4.
All right.
Cakes and Bishbuck 7-5.
Thank you.
Valdez
Not 500 at all.
8-3 with
It's
the
a half game.
asterisks.
You're a half game.
I should be. I should be 9-3. No, I should be 9-3, but I was in Hilton Head.
So
Yeah.
even though I know the Dolphins are going to win, I should zag and pick the Commanders to try to get a game back. But
Go
I'm
ahead-
not
go
going to.
ahead
You
and
have a
do
bunch
that.
of games to do that. All right,
I'm
what
not
do
gonna
you, what do you
that.
think the score is going to be?
I think it's 31-21.
I had 31-20.
I like the Dolphins in this matchup. I like them to cover. They could potentially score more than that, but
Tariq
Tua
Hill-
is not quite as good on the road as he
That's
is at
fine,
home.
but Tariq Hill will have 11. No, he'll have 9 catches for $120 and a touchdown.
That sounds about right.
Won't have
You might
double-digit
be light
catches.
on the yardage, by the way. You
EB,
might be
is
up
it
like
a blowout,
150.
Yeah,
or do your
good.
boys hang? What do you think?
No, I think we're gonna hang. I mean, it's never gonna be that close. I'll say. What did Jason say the score?
31-20.
That's what I was gonna say. So I'll say 27-17. Just kind of hang in there. Kind of a game.
Hang in there, don't cover.
All right, Drab. Prediction. Prediction time.
Prediction. Tyreek has 200 yards receiving or close to it.
All right.
And it's going to be close to that Cowboys game. So I'll say 41-13.
41-13. Those are our picks.